actual education of children. If you want to Well, okay, so the Supreme Court hearing, I think you're referring to the one that's a few days ago where they said that Donald Trump was justified in firing around 1,400 DOE employees. Now, the Department of Education doesn't really have very much to do with the actual education of children. If you want to compare that and the challenge that was posed, that rose to the level of the Supreme Court, with the Chicago Public Schools, who spent too much money on illegals and thus had to fire 1,400 teachers, including special ed teachers, just the other day, I think that that comparison is pretty stark. But what we're arguing is that because of Merrick Garland and this letter that classified parents as domestic terrorists that went out during COVID, and Merrick Garland then called on the FBI to treat these parents as if they were domestic terrorists, that resulted in a catastrophic series of events for several of these parents who all they were doing was trying to look out for their children, trying to question some of the woke agenda that we have in our schools today, or some of the COVID mask policies that were instituted in their schools that were actually adversely affecting and in some cases really harming children. We have one parent whose child was forced to wear a mask. When he took the mask off and threw it in the trash in the nurse's office, they made him fish it out of the trash and put that mask back on his face. So these things, and by the way, then the parents were then targeted by their communities, by their school boards, who called for their firing, called for their businesses to be shut down, and so many of these parents have been almost irreparably harmed. They need some sort of restitution. But bigger than that, Jack, you know, this set a precedent in our schools to consider parents expendable and disposable in terms of the education of their children. And that's absolutely not true. Parents are the number one indicator. Parental involvement is the number one indicator of academic success for their kids. And so we need parents more involved, not less involved. Schools that try to eliminate parents or sideline parents in the conversation about their children's education, those places are actually seeking the destruction of those children. That is not what we do in the United States. And I know that we're 40th in the world of 40 developed nations for education. The easiest way to start turning this around is to put parents back inside the schools, inside the classrooms, inside the conversation about the education of their children.